Hello, my name's Scott Davis, and welcome to New World Birth. This is the care and feeding for a New World Age report for the Gregorian date of November 20th of 2014, and one Cauac or storm in the Mayan Tzolkin calendar, with the Sun entering Sagittarius, the Sagittarius New Moon, Chiron turning direct, and Mercury entering into Sagittarius. November 20th is one Cauac or storm, and it carries the themes of rain, wind, lightning, giver of life, the cycles of the moon, the feminine, the warmth of the home, while inclement weather rages outside, purification, nourishment, compassion, emotions, seeing challenges as blessings, healing through the release of the ego, clouds pregnant with rain followed by a flash of lightning, and the release of the storm that cleanses the earth to prepare for new consciousness. This 13-day period would be an important time to focus on what is truly important in life and hold loosely to those things that are a distraction to your essence. Allow the waters of the Storm Tzolkin to wash away false pride and rigid thinking, and to create a fertile ground for the growth of your integrated and authentic self. And since we begin a new Gregorian month during this Trecena, I'm going to talk about the metaphysics of December. Um, and December is the 12th month, and with the digits for 2014, when we add them together, we get 10. And then we can add the 1 and the 0, and that tells us that this is a 1 month in numerology. And basic numerology reduces numbers to 1 through 9. So when we think of that arc, the 1 represents the time of new beginnings. And the numerology of January and February of 2015 repeat November and December of 2014, with January being a 9-month and February being a 1-month. So December, when people are wrapping up the old Gregorian year, the numerology is about beginnings. And January, when folks are wanting to start something new, the numerology is about completing what has begun. The 10 and the 1 are represented by the Wheel of Fortune and Magician archetypes in the Tarot cards. The Wheel of Fortune is about prosperity and abundance that comes from being objective, flexible, and creative. And to quote Ruth Ross, all prosperity begins in the mind and is dependent upon the full use of our creative imaginations. The 1 card is the magician and represents the principles of communication, represented by the god Mercury. Words were originally magic. Another quote to illustrate this comes from Starhawk: language shapes consciousness, and the use of language to shape consciousness is an important branch of magic. So December represents the beginning of a new cycle, which comes through comes into being through our communications, leading us towards prosperity by being flexible, objective, and creative. And this sets up powerful new energies in motion that require the numerological 9-month of November to release the old and worn out, whether it's aspects of the self or life experiences, situations, attitudes that no longer work, or concepts, beliefs, or perceptions that have outgrown their usefulness, so that in December we can move forward unencumbered. And before I get into the daily energy for the 1 Cauac or Storm Tzolkin, on the 20th, all the planets appear to be moving forward from our vantage point here on the Earth, with the exception of Chiron and Uranus, which appear to be moving retrograde or in reverse motion from our perspective here on the Earth. And remember, the themes of retrograde planets are review of the past, reevaluate, reminisce, and we can see that these themes are being played out. And with Chiron at a standstill, because it's preparing to turn direct in Pisces during this Trecena, it's about releasing stuck emotional energy so that we can return to the normal flow of life. And then Uranus in Aries is seeking to shake our foundation through the unexpected rebellion of the individual. Retrograde Uranus in Aries will have people wanting to hurry the process of getting free, to push the river of revolution, whether it be personal or political. And being an outer planet, Uranus creates events that we respond to. The inner planets affect us personally as individuals, but outer planets change the landscape, which affects us as a collective and as individuals within humanity. And on the 23rd, Chiron turns direct. Chiron has been retrograde in Pisces and is about releasing stuck emotional energy, like I said before. And Chiron is the wounded healer in Greek mythology. He's a teacher, a healer, an astrologer to the gods. He was abandoned at birth because his mother objected to her son being half man, half horse, which was his first wound. And then when he was teaching Hercules to use Hydra's blood as poison, Hercules mistakenly hit Chiron in the leg with a poisoned arrow, but because Chiron was immortal, he didn't die. He just suffered the pain of his wounds for every day in his life. Chiron eventually traded his life to have Prometheus released from his imprisonment for stealing fire and giving it to the human race, which is interesting because when we look at the upcoming God's Head in human design, we're going to be looking at the Prometheus God's Head, which is coming right up next. So anyway, retrograde Chiron, again, it's about reviewing our wounds so that they can be released by having the courage to open our hearts to any fear or pain associated with our past. When Chiron is in Pisces, people are willing to sacrifice their individual pain in hopes of finding bliss or universal consciousness. At worst, this can manifest as folks justifying their victimhood as some form of martyrdom. This should be transcendence and surrender without losing ourselves in the experience. The last time Chiron was in Pisces was between 1961 and 1968, which was also the time of the Uranus and Pluto were merged at the same degrees of Virgo, planting the seeds of the squares between Pluto and Uranus that we're currently experiencing. And at that time, there was a growing drug culture as people were looking for a shortcut to transcendence. The retrograde aspect of Chiron brings a longing for lost loves and memories of our losses, encouraging us to return to look at our core wounds and bring them to the surface so they can be healed. Another trap of Chiron and Pisces is codependent relationships, where we focus on healing others rather than ourselves. Chiron turning direct in November, so this is a time of exploring the depths of our psyches, and it will shift from being an internal experience to being mirrored in our external environment and experiences. So let's look at the daily transits and movement for the storm Tzolkin. On November 20th, we have one Cauac or storm unity experience through recognizing the gifts of diversity in the Mayan Tzolkin calendar, and we have Venus in a square to Neptune. So Neptune in Pisces, Venus is in Sagittarius. A square is a 90-degree angle from our perspective here on the Earth, which is an alignment between planet octaves, Venus representing personal love and Neptune representing unconditional universal love. The romantic imagination is active under this transit, which can lead to unrealistic expectations regarding loved ones. So please remember your partner is a mere mortal by not holding them to an impossible romantic ideal that no one could or should try to attain. Relationships that are damaged by this transit are not usually based on reality. This is positive for daydreaming that leads to artistic expression. Overall, we're likely to feel an expansion in compassion and empathy, which benefits activities such as meditation, music, and art, which seem to be transcendent. But it's not a great day for business on the material plane. In these reports, I'm not covering the daily lunar activity and other than the new moons and full moons, but that information is available on the New World Birth daily Facebook post or on the blogger New World Birth page. And then on the 21st, we have two Ahau. or sun, duality experienced through honoring the wisdom and memory of our ancestors. And while we have Mercury sextile Mars. So from our perspective here on Earth, this is forming a 60-degree angle, which brings a really busy day on the 21st of with the Mars and Mercury together. So let's break it down here. It's usually this is where folks have a lot more energy for their own projects. This is a day where working for someone else's benefit doesn't inspire diligence, and more likely is going to inspire resentment. So if you can use the day to work on what's of interest to you, it will seem like a good use of this energy. Since others are feeling the same way, plan on working independently from others. There's energy for convincing others of your point of view, but they also have the energy to convince you of their perspective. So this might be a day to avoid people and conversations that could lead to arguments, because this has a competitive edge to it. And we can be confident in our ideas and beliefs to initiate something that would be successful as long as we don't need others to bring it to fruition. And then November 22nd is 3 Amish, or crocodile. It's about taking action through nurturing new beginnings. And at this point, the sun enters into Sagittarius. So from our perspective here on Earth, the sun is moving into a new sign, Sagittarius, which illuminates travel, education, expanding our horizons, and planning for the upcoming festivities. This brings a month with more of a focus on discovering new ideas, philosophy, being in the right place at the right time, overall quality of optimism. The moon follows the sun into Sagittarius for the new moon, which is at 0 degrees and 7 minutes of Sag. Which is fresh new energy to replace what has been released during the month. Scorpio is the death of the old, and from that and the ashes of the phoenix, we move into Sagittarius, which is about transformation, and this new moon is about expansion and moving in a new direction. The Sagittarius new moon on the 22nd is challenged by Neptune and is merging with the Sun and Venus. Sagittarius illuminates travel, education, adventure, expanding our horizons, and planning for the upcoming holiday season. Ruled by Jupiter, this new moon represents faith, confidence, and abundance. Sagittarius resists responsibility and confinement, seeking to remain free. This brings more of a focus on discovering new ideas, philosophy, being in the right place in the right time, and an overall quality of optimism. Neptune adds a quality of daydreaming and fantasies and feeling more important than reality. And Venus brings cheerful, warm, gregarious feelings and wanting to go out and socialize. New moons bring an opportunity to set an intention for manifestation on the following full moon. So you want to look at the house of your astrology chart that contains 0 degrees, 7 minutes Sagittarius, to consider what area of your life is being activated by this new moon. For me, it's my 6th house of service and health. So I'd set an intention related to using this energy for finding a new way to serve others and improve my health through higher education, travel, and other experiences and activities that expand my point of view. Fire Sagittarius brings a spiritual elements into this new moon. So there's a spiritual purpose aligned with these new opportunities that are opening up. This is a social new moon. And with the Sagittarius energy, and it begins the energy that we typically associate with holiday parties and things of that nature. Also on the 22nd, Mercury makes a square to the new moon's ruler, Jupiter. So from our perspective here on Earth, this is a 90-degree angle, and Mercury square Jupiter usually brings feelings of optimism, positive perspective regarding life. People are inclined to set long-range plans and goals for the future from a place of seeing the bigger picture. This is also favorable for business deals and commercial transactions. And if you are unaware of this transit, you can overlook the details that were important to the creation of your overall grand vision. So, be careful about communicating to others in a way that might be seen as arrogant or self-righteous in your tone. Awareness is the key in working with this energy. So don't let this much optimism lead to sloppiness and overlooking important details. The 23rd is for eek or wind, stability through communication, while Chiron turns direct, which helps us to implement changes in our lives to promote healing the wounds that we became aware of while Chiron was retrograde since last June. November 24th is 5 Akbal, or night empowerment through contemplating the stars in the Mayan Tzolkin calendar. The 25th is 6 Khan, or seed, or lizard. It's about being in the flow through planting new seeds and making new connections. And at this point, we have Mercury merging with Saturn. So from our perspective here on the Earth, they're at the same degree of Scorpio. Mercury in conjunct Saturn makes folks more cautious. It's on the positive side where we're more precise in our thinking and detailed or oriented in our communication. If you previously outlined a general plan, this allows you to fill in the details. Critical thinking is very sharp, and you can see the flaws in any argument, including your own. And this transit can be an obstacle to seeing the big picture. We can see the distinction of different trees, but not the forest. At worst, this can create difficulty in communication because we're afraid to reveal something. So we say nothing due to the negative thinking that often accompanies this transit. This is a time to speak up, though, because what is not expressed can injure someone. Overall, this requires discipline and commitment to our ethics and values, being in Scorpio. And then November 26th, we have 7 Chan, or serpent, in the Mayan Tzolkin calendar, which is about reflection through being flexible, with Venus in a trine to Uranus. So from our perspective here on the Earth, this is forming a 120-degree angle. And Venus trine Uranus wants social experiences and romantic encounters to be outside of the norm, unusual and surprising. This is a great day to try something out of the ordinary. A day, the daily routine just doesn't really cut it under this influence. Folks are looking for something stimulating in their social lives and relationships. It's a day where there might be unique encounters and love relationships that begin under this influence are exciting, electric, unstable, and short, but have the strong potential to change our lives. This could also bring unconventional agreements in our relationships with other lovers, with our, since, such as, a couple might have had a monogamous relationship, and they might start to think, well, maybe we can have an open relationship and experiment with others under this influence of Venus trine Uranus. And also this is good for experiencing different type of entertainment, enjoying art, music, theater that's outside of your normal choices. Also on the 26th, the sun is in a square to Neptune. So from our perspective here on the Earth, the sun is at a 90-degree angle to Neptune, which, brings some low energy day, which seems to take more energy to complete normal daily tasks. If possible, it'd be a day to have a lighter schedule and more time for rest. And some will feel a little bit beaten down by this transit. So it's not a good day to do work that requires courage and great self-confidence. Just don't get discouraged, because this energy really only lasts a day. And the sun, being challenged by Neptune, is obscuring clarity and focus and can feel like very low energy. But it also illuminates our creativity. Then the 27th, we have 8 Kimi, or transformation, in the Tzolkin calendar, which is about balance through releasing what no longer serves us. We have Mercury moving into Sagittarius. So Mercury moves up into here, into a new sign, as we have this building stellium of planets in Sagittarius, the happy wanderer, which ushers, again, an optimistic view of life, a sense of faith, seeing the big picture. This brings 3 weeks when people will prize freedom of expression and find censorship less bearable. This is also people are restless in our thoughts, and as we might find ourselves dreaming about exploring different cultures, a longing to travel. Education is also favored under Mercury in Sagittarius, whether it's through reading, exploring new ideas, or learning about other people. Joining the sun in the sign of the happy wanderer, they work together on similar goals with a new sense of purpose. Also on the 27th, we've got Venus in a square to Chiron. It makes us aware of our wounds related to others and the harming and healing nature of relationships. And then on the 28th is 9 Manique, or deer. This is about patience experience through being a service to others in the Mayan Tzolkin calendar. And then the 29th is 10 Lammat, or star, or rabbit, which is manifestation through being grateful for abundant relationships. November 30th is 11 Maluk, or offering, which is resolution through appreciating creation, while Mercury forms a square with Neptune. So again, from our perspective here on Earth, this is forming a 90-degree angle, which can confuse communication, but also it favors creative and spiritual activities. Watch out for exaggeration and boasting, and some will come over right into outright lying with Neptune involved. And Mercury is communication. So in aspect to Neptune, this is a day where we have the potential for confusion about details of mundane daily events, but a wonderful potential to connect with spiritual realms through being in nature and engaged in inner work. Overall, it's best to carefully formulate exactly what you wish to communicate, because it could be misunderstood, and it probably will. Daydreaming is to be expected under this influence, so it's really not a great day for negotiations or signing contracts, as these activities will not be very clear under the Neptunian fog. And then December 1st is 12 Auk, or dog, understanding through enjoying family and friends. And we've got Mars in a sextile to Saturn. So from our perspective here on the Earth, these two planets are forming a 60-degree angle, and it's great for projects that require diligence and planning. Saturn gives focus to Mars's high energy, so this is not flamboyant like most of the other Martian alignments. This is great, a great energetic for sustained effort, particularly on tasks that require attention to detail. Saturn, it's a day to put effort towards a goal that will be fulfilled in the future. It's practical and does not mind deferring results for another day. And this gives people discipline and self-restraint, as long as the gratification of the day's labor is not delayed indefinitely. And then December 2nd is 13 Shuin, or monkey, in the Mayan Tzolkin calendar. It's movement to the next stage through creating something new. So no matter what energies you're experiencing during the one storm Trecena, just try to spend some time by being in the flow of the planet, by being in nature, or watching a sunrise or a sunset, communing with the stars, being conscious of the moment through introspection, meditation, being with someone you truly love and being just really present in that moment. Because every single day we have is a blessing, no matter what the dramas are that are beckoning to distract us. We're all giving the performance of our lifetime on the world stage. Just remember to take some time out to observe the play as well as acting your part. By remembering you're a spiritual being that's having a human experience. I want to thank you for checking out New World Birth, because in the next segment of the care and feeding of a new world age will be on December 3rd for one ebb or road, with Mars entering in Aquarius, the Gemini full moon, Jupiter turning retrograde, Venus entering into Capricorn, and this 6th of 7, Uranus Pluto squares. So you can check us out on Facebook, YouTube, or the Mayan Magics website. There are New World Birth presences in each of those places. And I would encourage you to share this information as videos or as text as widely as you choose. And as always, I invite you to contact me at newworldbirth@yahoo.com if you have any questions or wish to schedule a reading. And I am providing readings and wish to make this service available to the greatest amount of folks. So I've created 3 different options with 3 levels of compensation. And so if you've been thinking about getting a reading, please contact me. I would love to provide you a reading during this uncertain time. So you'll need to either be able to call me in Maine in the USA, or we can connect with Skype to receive your reading. We're also accepting donations to keep these reports freely available. And if you contact me again, newworldbirth@yahoo.com, to make a donation, I'll send you instructions on how to do that. As I've said before, readings are often a great way to make a donation, and we really do try to price them so that they are affordable. And of course, the radio show that we have coming up, I believe it's going to be on December 2nd on Free Thinking Voice Radio on the Earth Needs Rebels show. So with all of that, you can contact us there if you want to get a free reading. So we basically trying to make sure that anybody can get something. So anyway, as always, I am blessed that you've taken the time to connect with my passion for these ancient mysteries and their application to our journey during this incarnation. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste, in Lakesh, and I really do look forward to connecting with you in the future, whether it's in a reading, on the radio show, or just even through one of these videos. Anyway, thank you for your time. Much gratitude, love and light to all.